Hello, everyone, and welcome to the CMU Tepper session at MBA Spotlight. My name is Fernando, and I'm your host. It's my pleasure to introduce you to Tony Gomez, the Senior Associate Director of Master's Admission at CMU. Thank you, Tony, for being here. And the plan for now is that we will begin with a quick overview of the full-time MBA program and critical information that you need to know to be successful in your applications. After the brief presentation, we will open it for Q&A, and we will do our best to have as many questions answered as possible. For everyone in the audience, you have two ways to engage. So you can see on your screen on the right, there is a chat tab where you can talk to each other, talk about the session, and a Q&A tab. In the Q&A tab is where you should post your questions and also upvote questions that you would like to see answered. So that's all here on my end for now, and I will turn it over to you, Tony. That's the person from whom all your audience wants to hear from.
Thank you very much, Fernando. I appreciate it. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. Afternoon in Pennsylvania, rather. Give me 1 second here. I'll share my screen and we can begin. Okay, perfect. So once again, thank you for attending today. My name is Tony Gomez. As Fernando had said, I'm a Senior Associate Director of Master's Admissions over at the Tepper School of Business. Long title, I basically oversee our full recruitment strategy for the full-time MBA program. I'm here today to talk to you about the Tepper School of Business as well as our full-time MBA program. So let's begin, shall we? So at Tepper, we believe that we are powering the future. But we're asking different questions about this. We're asking, what does the future hold for business, for society, and for you? We know that the world is spinning toward this new age defined by vast quantities of data. And we want to make sure that our students are well equipped to harness this information in order to make sound, innovative business decisions. At Tepper, we are the home of the intelligent future, where the future is driven by data, but reimagined by humans. So a Tepper MBA combines advanced analytics with individualized leadership coaching in order to unleash your boldest potential and your boldest thinking as a future business leader. We combine these two different areas, management science and the art of leadership. What is management science, though? So Carnegie Mellon is the birthplace of management science, a data-informed approach to business. Instead of just looking through our rearview mirror using only case studies, our faculty wanted to teach students how to solve problems that had no precedent. So our faculty invented this area of management science, which does involve looking, backward, but being able to do some predictive modeling for what's to come in the future. Through management science, we believe that analysis and insight are our power. We also combine this with the art of leadership. The art of leadership is a personalized approach to leadership development, right? That's key there. We believe that emotional intelligence is our asset, and that future business leaders will need self-knowledge, empathy, and the ability to inspire. All of these things are unique and specific to you as a future business leader. And I apologize if you hear some meowing right now. My cat is desperately trying to get my attention. With the combination of management science and the art of leadership, we know that our students will not be successful without both of these, right? One without the other will not lead to the success that you're looking for. We know that data is only as powerful as the human intellect and the creativity that we use in order to act upon it. Without knowing exactly how to sell your idea within an organization or how to communicate your vision and motivate your team, it won't matter if you've identified the best solution to an issue that your organization faces. You need the creativity in order to have the buy-in to support that vision. With a Tepper MBA, you will graduate with those analytical skills to develop inventive solutions and the leadership expertise to inspire others to join you. We believe that this combination is what separates a Tepper MBA from other MBA program graduates and will help set you apart in the marketplace. It all starts, though, with a strong foundation, a strong core. Here you can see our robust core curriculum, which is designed to provide advanced analytics, business fundamentals, and leadership and communication foundation, as well as your required leadership development work within the Accelerate Leadership Center. Then, you'll gain a depth and breadth of skill as you apply these foundational skills in your chosen electives. At Tepper, you have the ability to customize your curriculum based on your goals and needs during your electives. You can choose from multiple concentrations and or a track to deepen and apply your analytics and leadership skills. You can develop your areas from a multidisciplinary menu of options that you see in front of you. And I do apologize, I forgot to correct our concentrations. We actually have 14 concentrations. We recently added a concentration in artificial intelligence. So we're very excited about that one coming for this coming year. The difference between concentrations and tracks here, which you may be asking for yourself, a concentration is a cluster of 3 classes in any area. Many students will have 3 to 5 concentrations, and you have to have at least 1 declared concentration in order to graduate. A track is optional. A track is 8 to 10 prescribed elective classes that are designed to provide a depth of the knowledge in that particular area. Concentrations are going to be more flexible. They're easier to work throughout your year and a half of taking electives within the program curriculum, whereas a track, you're going to have to plan a little bit better, right? These may be courses that are shared between Tepper and the College of Computer Science, for example. An additional benefit of being at Carnegie Mellon is that you're going to have access to top-ranked graduate programs across the entire campus. You're able to explore interdisciplinary electives in any of our other 7 colleges and schools at the university. So these courses are open to you as a Tepper MBA. Maybe you think that you want to brush up on some programming skills, or you are looking to learn alongside design students in a design thinking class. You're going to have endless opportunities to take these electives in order to deepen your skills and ultimately make yourself more marketable once you're on your job search. You can take as many of these graduate level courses as you would like across from CMU. There's some more popular choices, everything from the more technical as machine learning to the more creative like acting for business. Let me take a quick minute here to illustrate the impact of our approach in the classroom. So these here are 2 examples of projects that our students complete during their capstone courses. Your capstone projects are meant to apply all of your business fundamentals, analytics, leadership, communication skills in order to solve real business problems. This type of experiential learning really helps put everything together and allows you to practice how you're going to use your skills within your new career. So the first picture that we have, economic viability of solar plus storage based power plants. So our MBA students within our energy business tract worked with a green tech energy company called Fluence in order to investigate the economic viability of solar plus storage based power plants. Through this project, students evaluated data to determine if the solar plus storage could provide an alternative to natural gas peak demand needs. They had access to bandwidth and used data from natural gas plants. They created a hypothetical model of how much energy the solar plus storage approach could provide. Then they created cash flow models comparing the cost to the income. One student, when reflecting upon their experience, shared that the flexibility of utility-scale energy storage technology and its huge potential in helping overcome major drawbacks of the current power grids and facilitate the transition to the future. They were able to get this real-world experience based upon these trending technologies that we're seeing in these areas. A second example of our capstone, MBA students within our tech strategy and product management track worked with UPMC Enterprises. For those of you who may not be aware, UPMC is a major healthcare organization within Pennsylvania, and it is actually the largest employer within the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So they worked with UPMC to develop a marketing and commercialization plan for a cloud-based healthcare operating system, which they named HCOS. Students got the chance to tackle real-world problems through this and provide actionable recommendations that UPMC could implement. They've been able to sharpen and apply their skills with synthesizing data into a cohesive product strategy here. So these projects just highlight how Tepper graduates are prepared to be agile leaders within our rapidly changing business environment. So looking at the benefits of our academic approach, I want to talk a little bit about the environment and the community of Pittsburgh and of Carnegie Mellon. So our culture at Tepper is as collaborative as our work is challenging. Because it's challenging, you will find yourself needing to rely on your close-knit community that's built around teams in order to support you. This type of community environment is small, but your opportunities to lead are going to be seemingly endless here. You're going to have a lot of chances in order to test your leadership skills. There may be this perception of a Tepper MBA, right? Maybe you're thinking of an engineer or a math whiz. And yes, there are a lot of engineers, math whizzes, quant-focused individuals who succeed at Tepper. But there are just as many from quote-unquote non-traditional backgrounds as well. Right? A recent student who was admitted to the program summed up their experience best to me recently. They were originally intimidated by Tepper's reputation of being a tech quant-heavy school. They thought it would be rigid. They thought, the community would be boring and dry, but they've really enjoyed interacting with everybody. They've said that the current students were warm and reassuring, that there's a place for students of all backgrounds within this community. The Tepper School really is a community where teams are strengthened by diverse viewpoints and by diverse skill sets. These strong bonds are ones that you're going to formulate for your entire life. There are over 105,000 Carnegie Mellon University alumni, and Tepper alumni are spread out over around 85 countries in order to help connect you with the community. You will be located in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh is really a city that will help bridge you to your future. For those of you who don't know, Pittsburgh is fondly known as the city of bridges. We have about over 420 bridges within the city of Pittsburgh to help facilitate. So little punning there. But again, some people may have the perception of Pittsburgh being this dated steel town of the past, but that really couldn't be further from the truth these days. Pittsburgh truly is a startup city for the future. Here you're going to find businesses that seem to be as old as the city, such as U.S. Steel, and new ones that have been created by student ventures every semester across CMU. Probably the most famous CMU startup that many of you may be aware of is Duolingo. That came directly out of our Sports Center for Entrepreneurship over at the Tepper School of Business. About 260 CMU startups have launched since 2008, and since 2011, CMU startups have raised over $1 billion in funding. To give you a visual representation of where some of the world's most innovating and engaging technology companies are at within the city, here's a quick look at the map. So we're pretty close to Philips, Meta, Oculus, Google, Apple, Target. Wherever you see it, we may have it at Pittsburgh. So let's talk about some of our outcomes, right? Let's come back to your future with a Tepper MBA. Perhaps you know that you want to accelerate your career in finance, or you're looking to make a pivot into the tech industry. Maybe you're interested in clean tech, but you aren't quite sure how to make that shift. Our Master's Career Center at Tepper is here to help you make that transition. So, Looking a little bit here at our outcomes for the class of 2023. I know you're probably saying, Tony, why isn't this class of 2024? They just graduated last month, and per our reporting guidelines, we have to collect 3 months worth of data for them outside after graduation, and then we'll start reporting that around October, November probably. But for the class of 2023, here's what they encountered in order to facilitate their career outcomes. So our Master's Career Center counselors are truly experts within their field. They work with you on a one-on-one basis. So much so that we counted over 4,000 one-on-one coaching sessions per year within the Master's Career Center. It truly is a personalized approach that's based upon your goals and your experience. Approximately 94% of our 2023 MBA grads received full-time employment offers within 3 months after graduation. There you can see our total compensation of our 2023 grads. That includes bonus, just clocking over $190,000 per year. And if you're interested in the case competition side of things, we engage in about a little over 100 case competitions annually. So let's move on from this to take a look at career outcomes by industry and by function. So sorry. There we go. So employment by industry. Over 70% of our students move into the tech and the consulting industries. As you can see, we have very strong outcomes within consulting. About 42% of our students go into that area, while about 29% go into consulting. Financial services coming in a decent third with about 14% of our students. For those of you wondering exactly which companies there are, these are our top employers of 2023. Again, once I have employment data for 2024, I'll be sure to update, and everything will be posted online as well. So wrapping up here, a couple important details and reminders. I want to share with you this tool here. This is available on our website. So if you visit cmu.edu/Tepper, you'll be able to find the Chart Your Path tool. Chart Your Path provides you 7 steps in order to familiarize yourself with our MBA application. If you complete all 7 steps, you're going to earn an application fee waiver. So I'll repeat that again. To earn the application fee waiver, please complete the Chart Your Path tool. Whenever you register for this, register with the email that you plan on using for your application so we can tie the two together and provide you with that fee waiver. There's nothing that you need to do on your end. It's automatically applied to your application whenever you decide to submit with Tepper for the next year. Speaking of applications, we are still working on the deadlines for our different rounds, so I don't have that information available just yet, but we're aiming for a mid-August release of our fall 2025 application, and we'll be publishing the round deadline shortly thereafter. But no, I thank you all very much for your attention during this presentation. I hope that I've been able to shed some light upon Tepper and our MBA program for you. And I'm happy to start taking your questions.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Tony. I think that you answered lots of the questions during your presentation, which was very, very informative. And going now here to our Q&A. The first question was exactly about the application fee waiver, which you just mentioned. So I'm going to skip that one. Oh, there is a really interesting one here from Pratibha. So the question is there a difference in the number of spots for round 1 and round 2? And what advantage does round 1 applicants have? Any differences in scholarship funds?
Oh, that is a great question. So there is no difference in spots available. We are still, forming our class, trying to find the best people for the different roles. It all comes down to a calculation, right? How many offers can we put out? How many people do we think are going to accept the offers? And we go from there. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily an advantage from round one to round two. I would say that, the round one applicants may feel that they have all of their ducks in a row, so to speak, right? They have all of the materials that they need. They feel like they can present their strongest application by round one. I will tell you, and I'll tell this to every applicant, apply when you feel the most confident. Apply when you feel ready to apply. If you think that you have your strongest application by September, hey, submit for round one. We'll take a look at it. If you feel that'll be the case for round two, even round three, that is fine. Submit when you have the opportunity for it. There is no difference in scholarship funds between the two rounds. We scholarship completely holistically based on that student's application and also their interview process. So, if we have enough students who are really knocking our socks off, really shining in these areas, we're going to make sure that the scholarship offers reflect that.
That's great. Thank you, Tony. And going to the next question that we have received here. So that's from Yang Zheng. And the question is, hi, Tony, I have heard that the academic pressure at Tepper is particularly heavy. So do you have suggestions on how to balance the academic pressure with the pressure of finding a job, especially in the current job market?
Oh, that is a really good question. So I think some of this is going to be relying upon that support network that you build at Tepper, right? Making sure that you are connecting with your classmates, your peers, that you're sharing your experiences with everybody. You're not going through this alone, and know that you're not going through this alone. Really rely on that network to help get you through some of these challenging times. Faculty are willing to work with you. They're willing to talk to you. They are available to chat through problems that you may be having, or if you're not too sure on some material. They want you to succeed. Everybody in this environment is going to want you to succeed. So, know that you have, people rooting you on during this time in your life. As far as balancing it with the pressure of a job market, that is a difficulty, right? We have seen some dips within recruiting this year. I'm hoping that it's pretty cyclical and it'll start coming back by the time you all are ready to graduate in 2027, 2028, depending on when you're looking for your intake to be. So you do have some time. I think that things will start going back into a more positive direction by that time frame.
So going to the next question, and I would also like to thank the almost 300 people that we have here watching us. So feel free to keep sending all your questions. The next one, Tony, is from Kamesh. And the question is, how does being laid off or unemployed look on your application? And if the gaps are filled by volunteering or helping the community and pursuing other passions or starting businesses instead of a traditional paying job, how is that seen by the admissions committee?
Yeah, I think that there are some questions that are going to come up with an admissions committee. It's your job to address those questions within your application. All of your applications for most schools should have an employment section where you're able to speak about the reason for separation from the company, as well as go into some further details within your optional essay. I've been in admissions for a long time, and I've always told students, if an essay says it's optional, do it. Don't treat it as an optional essay. You always want to make sure that you're explaining everything to the admissions committee. You don't want us guessing about things. So if you are laid off, tell me what you've been doing in that time, right? So like you said, Kamesh, are you volunteering? Are you helping the community? Are you trying to strengthen your profile, right? So if you come from maybe a non-traditional background from Tepper standard, techie quant side of things, right? If you know that you need to bolster those quant skills, are you doing that during this time off? Right? How are you showing improvement to get to those goals that you're looking for? So I would definitely explain within that optional essay that trajectory that you're taking to get to that next step.
So the next question we have here, let me show it on stage so everyone can follow with us, is from Nitesh. Thank you, Nitesh. Saw you in other sessions today as well. How does Tepper's focus on analytics and technology give students a competitive edge in the job market? And can you provide examples on how graduates have applied these skills to drive innovation in their careers?
Yeah, that is a wonderful question. So the way in which our curriculum is paced really gives students an edge on what they're learning and what they're able to do within their careers and within their internships. So our curriculum is paced based upon a mini semester model. So your semesters are going to be about 7.5 weeks on average, which is going to allow you to maximize the number of courses, the number of electives, the number of things that you can learn in a more basic way, right? So you would be able to demonstrate these skills through your internships, which are going to show your current employer, your internship site, that you have mastered some skills that are above and beyond where some of your competitors are right now, where some of your peers at competing schools are. As for examples of how graduates have applied these skills, oh my goodness, let me think. So some of our students in consulting, for example, because they've been able to take these breadths of different electives, they've been able to really fill up their toolbox and impress some of their more senior associate consultants with the work that they're doing, with the data analytical tools that they're doing. Those students have mainly taken courses from like the Department of Statistics at Carnegie Mellon or through AI and machine learning. So they are up to date with some of the more current ways of combing through these large amounts of data that they may have had to do at their jobs, right? They're developing these new tools that didn't exist before they came into their career at some of these companies.
And still regarding those skills that students will develop when doing an MBA at Tepper, Piyush asked that question, can a student pursue AI/tech courses from CMU while pursuing MBA at Tepper?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Easy answer there. Yeah. So you can take any graduate level courses across the CMU campus. We have a lot of students who decide to take machine learning courses, who are taking AI, tech, computer science courses. We've even developed a new concentration where you can take 12 courses. So there are 6 based at Tepper and 6 with the School of Computer Science that are going to work nicely into your MBA as well.
Let me mark it as censored. And your cat was meowing over there, Tony. Now my dog is barking here, so I'm sorry about that. And the next question we have here is from Harsh, and it's one that lots of people have been asking lately. How would you suggest to offset low undergrad GPA?
So a lot of people will submit a competitive test score for this. This is probably the most common way that people do it. Submitting a very competitive GMAT or a GRE, if you're able. Some students, if they have the ability, may go to community college, for example, and retake some courses to show that they do have that academic prowess that maybe, you took this class when you were, 18, 19, 20. We're not thinking about grad school at that time, so you might go back to resharpen some skills. Or, for example, if you're a chartered accountant, you can always provide your certifications, or if you have a Series 6, for example. There's a couple examples of professional certifications that you can submit to supplement that academic mark.
And a follow-up question that we have here regarding that same topic, Tony, is are LinkedIn courses or equivalent ones like Coursera and these kind of websites helpful for the application process?
It shows us that you are thinking about your professional and your personal development, which is always a good thing to do, right? We do place a little bit more weight upon credit-bearing, GPA-bearing courses that are actually affiliated with a university, as opposed to some of these. Excuse my term here. I'm a higher ed guy. These MOOCs, these massively open online classrooms. So just keep that in mind.
Nice. Perfect. Thank you. Next question we have here comes from Miku. And the question is 31 years of age going to create a negative difference in full-time MBA application with some time of banking experience and family business experience? So I think it's basically, how much does age matter for the MBA application process?
So I think that if you are concerned about age, you need to think about why. Why are you concerned about it? Have you done some research into the industry that you're looking at, right? Do you know that, let's just continue to pick on consulting here. If you go into consulting, right, do you know the average age that consultants are typically hired at? Do you think that you'd be an outlier there? I think that's something that you need to think about in your reflection as to why you're applying for this. But I don't think it's a barrier. I think that it helps add to the discussion that you have in the classroom. You bring a very unique perspective into that environment, right? If you take a look at our ages for Tepper, you'll see we have students anywhere from, I think on the youngest end is about 24. The current oldest student that we have is about 38. So there's a wide range of experience within our program.
Perfect. Thank you, Tony. The next question we have here is about the GMAT, and I'm just going to add some others to it that we also have here in the Q&A. So does Tepper accept at-home GMAT test scores? And others that we have here regard GRE and also test waivers.
Absolutely. So yes, we do accept the at-home GMAT test score, and of course the new focused edition as well. We also accept the GRE and we accept the executive assessment. But you also, throughout the application, have the ability to submit a test waiver. So for the test waiver, we take a look at your academic preparedness. So academic preparedness can come in a bunch of different ways. It could be as easy as looking at your undergraduate transcript. So maybe you were an engineering major. We take a look at what your preparation looked like in undergrad. Maybe you have that chartered accountancy certificate or or your CPA in the States. Send us a certificate so that way we can verify it. If you have your certified financial planner documents, send that in. There are all sorts of different ways to show this academic preparedness. Feel free to contact us. We can help shed some light on that as well.
And still on that topic, Tony, this is something new that has been popping up. How does CMU see the current GMAT Focus Edition score in comparison with the GMAT Classic? And how will the upcoming percentile change in the third quarter affect the current score from candidates? And then Ishan provides an example here.
Oh, that is a wonderful question. So we really rely upon the GMAT concurrence table to help us sort of align these different scores and show the comparison. We are closely monitoring what the percentile shift is going to look like here within the third quarter. I know that we're waiting for what that looks like and how we're going to have to adjust some of our strategy behind that.
I always tell people, Tony, that I feel so old about having taken the old GMAT, like the classic GMAT legacy, however people go.
I will share this with your audience. I've never had to take an entry exam into any of my degree programs. So, master's, doctorate, I've never taken a GRE, I've never taken a MAT, so I don't envy those who do.
That's amazing. You probably saved like 5 years worth of physical stress, of looking 5 years older.
Sure.
So the next question that we have here is one about more towards the professional side and opportunities that Tepper provides. So it comes from Mohit. And the question is, can you please share some information on how technology strategy and product management MBA track help candidates to pivot into senior PM roles?
Yeah, so a little fun fact about Tepper. We produce more product managers through our MBA than any other program in the country. Our career services have done this data research. They have it available for anybody to see if you inquire about it. But we are a top producer of product managers within the country. Some of the things that our tech strategy and product management track do, they help connect you with people within the field, right? So maybe there are alumni that we're connecting with through different capstone projects, through mentoring opportunities, through coffee chats. Our students go on a product manager trek during some of our breaks. So they'll go out to Silicon Valley and visit some of the bigger tech companies where some of our alumni are in order to get familiar with these areas. That's just, a small taste of it. If you're interested, feel free to take a look at our MBA ambassadors. You'd be able to search people by the tracks that they're specializing in. So I'd encourage you to reach out to one of the students.
Perfect. The next one that we have is from Sai. And she's asking, to what extent does Tepper value a diverse background? Would you all prefer applicants to have a more data/tech related background, or do people from a quite different background also stand a chance?
Oh, you definitely stand a chance with a different background. When I'm thinking about making the class, I want people from a variety of backgrounds. There would be, my opinion, there would be nothing more boring if the entire class looked just like me and had my same background, right? You want people from the different backgrounds in order to help color your perspective on your problem-solving abilities. Absolutely. You definitely stand a chance if you have a more humanities-driven background. You just have to demonstrate it within the application and within your interview.
And every time that I see that question, Tony, I like to tell people, as we were talking before the call, I just graduated from my MBA and lawyer here, and you all know lawyers are terrible at quant skills. So
we have a couple of programs. We have some medical doctors in the program. We have a second grade teacher who's coming into the program in the fall. We have nonprofit people. We have a whole lot of different backgrounds in our program.
The next one that we have for our last 6 minutes here, we can answer a few more questions. So this one comes from Shaliwa. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. She's asking, hi, Tony, what weight is assigned to each of the factors during the evaluation process? So GMAT, demographics, academic background, professional background, work experience, to each of these specific factors, basically in the application, what's the weight attributed to each of them?
Oh, that is a great question. I can't reveal all my secrets, of course, but I will say, it is a holistic review. So we are taking everything into consideration. So, we're looking at whether it's a GMAT versus a test waiver. We're looking at demographics to the extent that we're legally able to do so. We're looking at, academic background, academic preparation, professional work experience, your interview, your references, your essays, any supplemental documentation that you want to submit to us as well. We're taking all of that into consideration to see how you will be fitting or how you will be impacting our class.
Perfect. And also on that, how incoming students will impact the class, we have a question here from Anurag that's asking, what specific leadership attributes and community contributions do you believe are most impactful for the MBA applicants?
Oh, wow, that is a very good question. As far as attributes, I think that communication is key. The way in which you communicate with your peers, with people above, below, beside you, is going to be incredibly important because that's going to tell us how well you'll learn about leadership and how you'll be able to work within a team during our program, right? When I talk to students about community contributions, I'm always curious to see at what level you're doing that, whether or not you are one of the driving forces behind that, or if you're just kind of, following along and doing, basically what needs to be done there. I think that we have a lot of students who've been very involved with community outreach, community contributions, who have been leaders within that area. And it's very nice to see, especially when they are looking at leadership positions within the school, because they are go-getters right off the bat, right? They're people who are taking on a lot and making a big impact within the Tepper community, and that's what we want.
Nice. And we do have some questions about that here in the Q&A. Basically asking, Tony, how the current tech industry scenario has been influencing the experience of students at tech, including both like their MBA experience itself and recruitment.
Yeah, it has caused some apprehension among our students. I will say it really hasn't changed much of the strategy. A lot of our students, we encourage our students to come in with sort of a parallel path, right? If this isn't attainable, or if you're struggling in wanting to be a product manager, for example, what's the parallel path that you can go to still find that gainful employment, right? Do you have to necessarily target Amazon for that post-MBA career? Or is there another smaller, company that you can target to still have that same level of experience, of salary, of quality of life that you want post-MBA? We're working a lot with our alumni and trying to help our students make these goals attainable. We're reaching out to different companies that we may have had a tangential relationship with before and trying to do some more things with them in order to help our students. We know that this has been a tough time, and we're doing what we can, but also making sure students can do what they can as well.
Perfect. And since I saw that many people asked about more details regarding that, Tony, could you please, as our last question here, just mention again what is the procedure to get the application fee waiver? People are curious about until when they can do that to get the waiver.
Absolutely. So students can visit our website now, right? You can visit cmu.edu/Tepper, navigate to the admissions page, navigate to MBA, and you'll see a section that says Chart Your Path. Sign up for Chart Your Path using your email address. Make sure you use the same email address on your application. Finish all 7 steps to chart your path. The application will be automatically applied to the waiver will automatically be applied to your application.
And one specific question is, do they have to do it until a certain deadline, or they can do it at any time?
You can do it at any time. If you want to knock it all out in the month of June, go for it. If you want to spread it out until the application opens, that is perfectly fine as well.
Perfect. That sounds great. Thank you so much once again, Tony. I'm sure it was a very helpful session for everyone who is going to apply to Tepper very soon. And thank you also to everyone watching us here. It was great spending this time with you all.
Wonderful. Thank you all very much for your attention. I appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. See ya.